it up for Mr. Locario.
What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So I got a question from a subscriber. I'm going to read the question and then we're going to get into this. You feel me? So it says, first of all, I would like to thank you for your videos. My question is, what do you talk about with a woman on your first date? And what do you talk about with her if you run out of things to say? All right. So, I actually get a lot of questions like this about, what do you talk about with a chick? How do you make the first date fun and not boring? And, what do I do if I run out of stuff to say? Now, the first thing I want to talk about, and I've said this before, is if you are listening to what a woman is saying to you, right? You will never run out of stuff to say, right? But the thing is, what you need to do is you need to ask her questions so that you can get information out of her, and then with that information, you start new conversation threads. You understand? So, for example, you're on a date with a chick, you're having a conversation with her or something, so you say something like, you ask her a question like, hey, so, what do you do when you're not working? What are some of your hobbies, right? So she might say, let's say she's like, oh, I really like to play pool, like that's like my thing. I really always like to do that, like, whatever, right? So then since she says that, you can follow up by saying, oh, pool, that's interesting. What made you get into playing pool, right? And then she'll be like, oh, well, my friend, she used to do it a lot, and then I got into it, and then we went to like this, this pool place downtown Brooklyn, and blah, blah, blah. So then, you just listen to what she says, and then from what she's saying, you start something, you keep it going. So you don't really have to run out of things to say, because if you're listening to her, she will give you the information in order for you to keep the conversation going, right? And all you need to really do is just like ask questions, to a girl, because then that'll get her talking and all this other stuff, and it'll give you more information, right? Now, the thing is, what specifically to talk about on a first date, it's, you don't have to really think too much on what specifically to talk about. It's more about the vibe that you and her are having, meaning like you just have a conversation with her, and you bring up different topics, but you have to sort of pay attention to the vibe on the date, because a lot of times people say shit like, well, you shouldn't talk about like heavy topics like politics and religion and blah, blah, blah. And technically, you want to sort of stay away from that generally, because, that brings up a heated sort of debate, right? But you can still talk about that depending on the type of girl you're dealing with. So you have to sort of feel her out and see like how she is. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you are on a date with a girl, and let's say you start talking about, some super deep type topics or whatever at this point, and she gets upset and annoyed and offended or whatever, she's going to sort of equate that annoyance or that anger and that frustration to you. So when she, thinks about you, she's going to think about that frustration, and that's going to make her not want to see you on another date, right? Now, the thing is, it's a lot of guys kind of get funny about this, and and me personally, I just like to talk about whatever I want, and I don't give a fuck how she's feeling, right? But what I'm saying is that if you're on a date and you're trying to hit it, right, you have to make a choice. You have to say, do I care about being right? Because she'll say some shit, and it might be something that she's saying that's ridiculous, right? And then you'll probably want to correct her, but you got to say, do I care about being right, or do I want to hit it? Do I want to have sex with this girl, or do I want to be right? Do you understand? So you got to make that choice, because you can sit there and be right, and then she'll be all pissed off in certain cases, and then not want to fuck you and not want to see you, and because you got her mad, and now she's feeling upset and all this other nonsense, right? Or what you can do is, if you do see the argument getting sort of like, or you see the conversation getting into that direction where it might become heated, all you need to do is change the topic of conversation immediately, and then you keep it going. Now that's up to you to decide, because you got to decide, hey, do you want to hit it, or do you want to be right? And the thing is that you can hit it now, and then later, let's say this girl becomes your girlfriend, then you can school her and tell her, and upgrade her mind at that point. That, you understand? But it's up to you if you want to be right at that moment or to hit it, right? And the thing is, again, you can, if you feel the conversation getting heated or whatever, or you feel like, or even before it gets heated, you can tell that, okay, if I get into this sort of conversation, it's going to be some other extra shit. You sort of just switch the topic before you even get like crazy. So for example, let's say you're dealing with it, you're on a date with a chick and she says some sort of goofy shit, right? Let's say she says some goofy stuff about feminism or something, and then you're just thinking like, oh my goodness, get the fuck out of here, right? Now, she says, oh, I feel like blase, blase, blah, feminist, blase, blah. And you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So, by the way, did you see that new movie with Ben Affleck? Or, you just switch the fucking conversation, because it doesn't make sense for you to go down that road if you're trying to make something happen with this chick. You understand? But again, it all depends on you and what you're really trying to do. Because me, personally, I don't give a damn. Sometimes I like to get into those conversations to see where this chick's head is at, to see if she's the type of girl who I even want to give the pleasure of my penis to. You understand? So that's just how I see it. But again, you got to figure out, do you want to hit it or do you want to be right? But overall, when you guys are on first dates, right? And you're talking about conversing, having conversations and everything, all you need to do generally is just keep it light, keep it fun, and it's really important to flirt. You understand? It's more important to, forget all the debating, forget all the, trying to do all the small talk or whatever too much. The most important thing is that you should be creating a situation where you and her you're flirting with her. It's very sexual. You probably touching her hand a little bit, across the table. You got your arm around her. You're having those light, fun conversations. That's the best thing to do on the first date, and the best way to actually communicate on the first date. And guys, this is why I tell you to go to Bad Boy Membership, so you can get my audio program, The Art of Flirting. Right? So when you can learn how to flirt with a chick, also get my other audio program on the Bad Boy Membership, which is how to attract women using your conversation skills, because I talk more about that on there. Okay? So when you guys are on these first dates, you want to make sure that you know what you're doing, so you can keep things going, especially if this is a chick you really want to make something happen with, all right? So listen, make sure you guys click the link below to send me a question. Also go to Bad Boy Membership, and I will holler at you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace, I'm gone. All right, now before you click off this video, I need you to do 3 quick things. First, I need you to click the link below to send me your questions, because if you have any questions, I'll answer them in a video. 2, click the link under that to get my free ebook, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men. Gives you 10 tips on how to attract beautiful women. And number 3, I want you to click the link under that to go to badboymembership.com, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month. Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.